In a quiet North Carolina neighborhood, a retired FBI agent bought a home for peace and found a war. What began as a simple move-in turned into a battle against corruption, greed, and a self-declared HOA queen with a can of red spray paint. But when you mess with someone who used to dismantle criminal networks for a living, you'd better be ready for justice and surveillance-grade receipts. The morning Diane Mercer spray-painted my garage door red was the moment the whole neighborhood finally snapped out of its fear. In bold, uneven letters, it screamed, "We warned you." She stood there with the spray can still dripping in her hand, lips curled in a smirk, as if she'd just written scripture. What she didn't know, she had just committed a federal offense on the property of a retired FBI agent. My name is Jason Keller, 42. Former federal investigator specializing in civil corruption. I moved to Oak Ridge Hills, North Carolina, for peace and quiet. And because the listing for my house specifically stated, no HOA. 3 days after I moved in, Diane came knocking. She had on pearl earrings, a crisp white blouse, and heels sharp enough to punch holes through concrete. "We need you to complete your HOA registration," she said. "There's a $750 new owner fee. Monthly dues are $142. There's no HOA here." I told her. "There is now. New bylaws, ratified last month. You're not exempt." I checked with the county clerk. The amendment she cited was neither legal nor recorded. I hired a local land use attorney to double-check same result. I even pulled the plat map myself. My parcel was outside the HOA district. Full stop. Diane didn't care. She kept coming. And when I didn't fold, she escalated. My water line was mysteriously shut off. I got fines for improper trash bin placement. My mailbox was smashed. My garbage was skipped. Then, late one night, all 4 of my tires were slashed. What Diane didn't know, I had military-grade security around my property. Every movement was logged, faces identified, and all of it stored remotely. I began digging. Diane wasn't just the self-proclaimed queen of the HOA. She was running a real estate investment firm behind the scenes, Oak Ridge Investment Partners. Their pattern: target vulnerable homeowners with escalating fines, then offer to rescue them with lowball buyouts. Mr. Harding, a 78-year-old Navy vet, sold his home for half its value after $9,000 in HOA fines wore him down. A single mother was threatened with foreclosure over a misplaced tricycle. The deeper I looked, the more victims I found. I contacted my former bureau supervisor. Within 72 hours, we opened a covert investigation. We had drones over board meetings, microphones in porch lamps, undercover buyers moving in next door. Then came Diane's biggest mistake: the garage door. She tagged it at dawn, then stood proudly on the sidewalk as if she'd won a battle. I walked out, coffee in hand, and pressed the emergency trigger in my pocket. Unmarked SUVs rolled up in less than 60 seconds. Diane spun around to see 6 agents in FBI jackets approaching fast. "Diane Mercer, you're under federal investigation for conspiracy, wire fraud, mail fraud, civil rights violations, and property vandalism." The moment they cuffed her, the neighborhood changed. During the raid on her house, they found burner phones, encrypted flash drives, forged zoning documents, and a folder marked HOA enforcement script. Emails revealed everything: leverage fear, create confusion, mix valid and invalid citations. But the real rot went deeper. Diane's brother worked in the zoning office. He retroactively approved changes that put homes under HOA control post-purchase. County inspectors were on the payroll. One judge had dismissed 6 small claims against her firm, each time citing insufficient evidence. The case exploded. By trial, more than 40 residents had come forward. Mr. Harding testified through tears. The single mom held up photos of her daughter's playset with warning notices duct taped to the slide. Diane pleaded guilty. 5 years in federal prison, Full restitution to every homeowner, forfeiture of her investment properties. A court order disbanded the HOA entirely. The final twist. The federal government used Diane's case to launch a national task force on HOA abuse. Her emails became training material. Her crimes became a cautionary tale. Today, the former HOA office is now a neighborhood co-op and community garden. Mr. Harding teaches kids how to prune tomato plants. That single mom now leads the local tenants' rights committee. And me, I sit on my porch. The air finally quiet. Not because no one's watching, but because, for the first time in years, we all are. It started with spray paint. It ended with justice and peace, the kind that can only come when people stop being afraid to say, enough.